We're a local Pokemon podcast based down in New South Wales, Australia, covering all information to do with Pokemon from League Cups, Regionals, Internationals, Champions League, and World Championship events. We are looking to expand the information that is down in Australia for the rest of the world to know and see, as there is not heaps of information down this way. First of all, I would like to introduce the Squawk&Talk podcasters. We've got a team of 5, including myself, amazing players and amazing community members. I would like to, first of all, introduce Miles. Miles, tell me about your most memorable moment and about your Pokemon career, as well as your most favorite deck. Sorry.
Cool. So my name is Miles. I've been playing for about 8 years. My only claim to fame is 42nd at Oceania in 2018, where I bested yourself, Jeremy, with Bulu, and I was piloting the good old Zoro Garb, and it's probably my favorite deck. I think the way that that deck can control the game in just you can draw a lot of cards and your opponent can't do anything, I think hasn't really been seen since, and I'm really excited for when the new Zoro comes out and Zoro in a couple of sets. As for my favorite memory, I think, being a game designer as well by trade, when I was really young, for Christmas when Yellow came out, me and my sister got a copy of them, and we snuck down to the Christmas tree, took them upstairs and played about 30 minutes before wrapping them up neatly. We were just blown away by Yellow and how Pikachu could follow you around, and I think we were hooked ever since. It's not as good as Alpha Sapphire or just Sapphire in general, but Pokemon Yellow is still good times.
Well said. I completely agree. Pokemon is definitely filled up with all those fun memories with friends and family, and it's amazing what Pokemon actually can bring into your life. Next on the list, we have Aaron. Aaron, tell me what's your most memorable Pokemon moment. Tell us about your Pokemon career and what's your favorite deck.
Hi, my name's Aaron. I've been in the Pokemon TCG lifestyle for the last 11 or so months. It all started when another one of our members here, Drew, cracked open an Obsidian Flames booster pack for Christmas, slid out that slick-looking Secret Art Charizard EX, and I was like, what is this? Jumped online, figured out how to play, loved it. A more recent memory, I guess, just this last Christmas, so 1 year, I guess, from when we first started, I got the Charizard, is it Super Premium, Special Premium? I think it's Super Premium Collection. Yeah. And I looked at it, I'm like, it looks nice, but there's 10 packets in there, right? Being new to the hobby, could not resist myself. The thought of cracking some more Obsidian Flames, and believe it or not, in that box was a second, I don't know if you can see it, a second Charizard Secret Art. Yeah, so in my current Charizard deck, I've got my Charizard and Drew's Charizard, and that's what it is. Family sticking together, mate.
Absolutely, making those memories, and Pokemon is a great way to do that. There's something special about opening that first special card you get. I still remember mine from when I was 6 years old. You can't replace those memories.
No way.
100%. Next on the list, we have Drew. Drew, my friend, tell me, what's your most memorable Pokemon moment? Tell us about your Pokemon career, and tell me, what's your favorite Pokemon deck?
Hey, how you going? Thanks for having me on. I'm Drew. I'm relatively new to the scene. Only been playing for about under a year. My most memorable probably Pokemon moment was probably... Do you guys ever remember, I think it was just before the Gold and Silver came out, they came to Australia and did a big reveal event. I can't remember what it was called.
Yes, vaguely.
Well, I remember going there and just like as a little kid, just playing the Game Boys, like just on the little stands and stuff like that, and just testing out the next version after playing the first one. And my little kid mind was like, "Oh, are these fake?" Like I was just like, "Why is there different stuff? Why is this game different?" I didn't realize it was a sequel. But yeah, no, the whole experience going there and just seeing the massive community of Pokemon for the first time as a little kid, and just seeing people playing Pokemon cards together, watching the new series episodes that were going to be released and things like that, and all the different merch and stuff. It was after that I was like, oh, Pokemon's my life now. I want to be a part of this world. Um, as for that, yeah, it sort of led onto my journey through lots of different, I guess, competitive gaming environments, but most prominently was reaching high ranks in Pokemon VGCs and even just reaching good ranks in Pokemon Unite. And that's probably my two major sort of areas in the Pokemon industry. Recently migrating over to my story of joining the Pokemon trading card community after watching my mate Aaron play Pokemon with my Charizard for about a month. I decided to get into it myself, which leads into my favorite deck. Is probably because I'm still relatively new to the industry, was Miraidon with Flappy, which I got into because I was bored in the hospital waiting for my wife to give birth to a baby, and decided, you know what, I'm going to play the Pokemon game online, and I need a deck, so I bought the Battle League deck, scanned the code in, and built the deck, and then have been converted since.
Never looked after his kids since.
No, that's right. That's it. Pokemon comes first, guys.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic
yeah.
way to get into it. 100%, mate. Well, next we have Hayden. Tell me, my friend, what is your most memorable Pokemon moment? Tell us about your Pokemon career, and please tell me what's your favorite Pokemon deck.
Hey, cheers, mate. My name's Hayden. I've been playing Pokemon TCG for around 2.5 years. I've got 1 cup and a few challenges to my name. My favourite deck is Chimpower. Always loved the blue water decks. Always been the water boy in the local community. Yeah, my favourites, or my most memorable moment of Pokemon would have to be when I initially got into it. Was at my cousin's house in outback Dubbo in New South Wales for Christmas, and me and my siblings, we cracked open the cartridges of Ruby and Sapphire, and we just started playing the games there. And ever since, I've not missed a generation. All the games have been really good, and yeah, Pokemon's close to my heart, and can't say anymore.
100%. That was very well said, my friend. Next is myself. So, to introduce myself, my name's Jeremy, also known as Jevons. In the communities, my most memorable Pokemon moment is probably Christmas of, I think it was 2005. My parents bought me one of the old Pokemon tins. They didn't have a card on the front, and I pulled a Nidoqueen from EX Fire Red and Leaf Green. To today, I still have the card, and it's been one of my favorite cards of all time. Leading into my Pokemon career, I've been playing the game since very, very early XY. So it's about 11 to 12 years. I've made a lot of friends in this community, made a lot of memories. Popped 2 regionals, both with Lugia, and made it to 4 World Championships, with one of them being a top 64 placement, being second seed going into day 2. The reason why I've kept on playing Pokemon is due to the memories and the friends I've made. Couldn't be more thankful for what Pokemon has given me. And now, since I've somewhat kind of retired, I have now become a Pokemon professor, wanting to share that love and passion for the game to the rest of the community. It's definitely something that has brought something new into my life as an adult, and I'd love to show people how amazing that is. There's something different about traveling around the world with your friends. Even if it's not around the world, just going to your local game store, picking up some cards, buying some new booster packs. getting the new Pokemon game. I'm pretty sure we've all been there, just waiting for the new release of the next Pokemon game, and just being keen to just play it. Yeah. But everybody, thank you very much for being here. So the whole goal for this podcast, we are here to go over our local meta, including Japanese, Singapore, and the rest of the Australian scene. So I hope you're all excited. We've got a lot in store, and get ready because we're going to be squawking a lot. So we're going to be talking about some Pokemon news. So some of the new cards that were revealed not too long ago was the Dunsparce EX and Dunsparce. They both have been revealed from Battle Partners, which releases in Japan on January the 24th. We expect most of the unreleased cards from the set to become part of the international set Journey Together, which also releases in March. So going through some of these cards, I think the last one of these is pretty exciting, in all honesty. So Dunsparce, it's a colorless Pokemon, 70 HP, has for 1 colorless energy, trading places. Like it says in the name of attack, switch it with one of your bench Pokemon. And the next attack is Ram for 2 colorless energy, just does 20 damage, 1 retreat, weak to fighting. That's about it with that one. The exciting card I think we're all going to love is the Dunsparce EX. It's a colorless Pokemon with 270 HP, so it's a pretty stocky stage 1 Pokemon. Its first attack does 60 damage for each of your opponent's EX Pokemon in play. That's really strong just for 1 colorless energy.
Is that 316? What is that, 316? Yeah,
if they have a full bench, you've got it. The next attack, it's a little bit more underwhelming, but it's very much like Shred, where it hits through things. So for 3 colorless energies, does 150 damage and isn't affected by effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So it gets through those pesky Mimikyus and Cornerstone Ogopons. Weak to fighting, and actually has a retreat cost of 3. Guys, tell me, what do you think is this card's going to be? Do you think it's going to be impactful? It's a colorless Pokemon, so it can be splashed in Charizard, Chenpao. What do you guys think?
First impressions, 70 HP for the Dunsparce. That's often viable. Yeah? So that's what you want from your basic.
70 is good.
Um,
Can't be sniped.
But can be fan rotom.
Can be fan rotom, correct?
Oh, yeah, can be fan rotom.
Fighting type weakness is not good in the current meta though. Right?
Yeah, we got the crabs going around, Mr. Claw.
Mm-hmm. A very common
I think the nature of it is probably a bit more like Blood Moon. So I'd probably see it coming in near the end of the game, like 60 damage, like 5 benched EXs is 300 damage. So knock that down to 4. That's like a Raging Bolt, 240 HP. Bring it down to 3. That's a Mew EX. And then if we talk about the V-Star Pokemon that are leaving, so many more EX Pokemon are going to come in. So I think we're definitely going to see some value in this card. I don't think every deck will run it, but especially because it's a stage 1 is probably my only concern, and that massive retreat cost. But I could definitely see it being as like a closer, like it could come in at the end and just sweep whatever's in the way.
I want to do like a because you do so much damage with just vanilla. Be cool to pump up the HP of this thing and just Turo it every turn and just swing for 300 damage. Could be pretty sick. Yeah, that could be pretty cool.
I definitely think this Pokemon is going to be... I don't think it's going to be very meta warping, but I definitely do think it's going to have an impact in some way, shape or form. And it definitely does signify the end of V-Stars and whatnot out of the format.
Yeah, with that word in for sure, hey.
100% sure.
I think like... sorry.
No, you go, please.
So like we've had like a few Pokemon like this sort of thing like before, like what I said earlier with the Blood Moon. Also like in similar sense with Petulant. This seems a little bit more splashable Orthodex and everything. But yeah, like you said before with the retreat, I do like the 1 energy cost for it. That is the probably the most appealing thing that I think most competitive players are going to go towards. If we do see this card in some sort of stock standard meta. But I do think I am liking these late game finishes come into play a lot more in today's game.
What do you think would see play in though? Like Jevons, you mentioned Charizard. Like the shred attack is nice in Charizard, but 150.
150, yes. But the
Like
biggest issue with Charizard is the fact that it needs that extra space. The deck is so tight.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Not being able to fit that.
Yeah.
This also reminds me of like Zoro Lycanroc, right, with Dangerous Rogue, and it'd be really sweet to see this in like paired up with maybe the new Zoroark in some way, to just have it come down for 1 energy, just have it ready to go, just kind of like the Dangerous Rogue. And then isn't there the Bloodthirsty Eyes single prizer card coming out soon as well? Can bring up, because it has Gust or something. I thought I saw that as well. You can like evolve it and then bring up something from the bench.
Yeah. And there's been many different abilities of that kind of effect where when you evolve it, a gust something up. It's actually been very meta warping ever since, from what I can remember, 2009, when they came out with a Luxray GL level X with the same ability. Then you go to the Zoroark format, so late 2017, 2018, with Lycanroc GX. Being able to gust something from the bench to the active without having to use a boss's orders or a specific item to be able to gust is just very, very powerful. Completely agree. What do you guys think about this? So I've seen Prismatic Evolutions. It's such an exciting set coming out, Ben, with all the EVs, some awesome cards. Don't even get me started on the Umbreon artwork. I love it, but I actually prefer the Espeon. But
controversial.
So I've noticed actually there's a few stores that have definitely had a price increase of that. Why do you guys think that is? What's your thought?
I think we are looking at probably a collector's mindset. Like the ratio from competitive to collectors is exponential, to say the least. Look at all these people just dropping thousands of money on this set, like we've seen it before. Shining Fates and all the special sets at the end of the year, like they all go very fast and everyone's just very hyped to go get them. I honestly don't see much difference with this set. It's every collector's dream.
Nothing playable but collector's dream. No.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, nothing. No one play anything from this set, please.
I have seen the Umbreon does have some nice looking attacks, but I don't know how competitive that's going to actually be, really.
Do you think
This is the set with Butter?
Yeah. No, nothing playable.
Yeah. One thing playable. There's always that one thing.
One, yeah.
The big Pokemon item locking is just silly with the fact that it doesn't need an energy. Very, very strong Pokemon.
Yeah. It's gonna be rough.
They're becoming a lot more appealing now.
Yeah.
So,
The price, 200 for an ETB from retail seems a bit much.
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
is it got
Looks like
something to do with like the stock available?
I think
I've heard stories of like shops not getting the stock that they asked for, even to the point I know a very specific shop that they've had to give refund all their pre-orders, and basically the amount of stock they have, they're doing like a games night to have the privilege to purchase or win one of these ETBs, because they don't have enough for everyone, right?
So do you think that's just lack of printing? Like it's not necessarily how I see it. I don't think it's necessarily the store's fault by not having
absolutely.
a lot of product, but because of that, prices. Of course, stores want to make money, so the prices will go up. And since it's a collectible set, it's a EV set. and because the lack of print means the cards are actually more valuable. If say there's 5 playable cards for standard players need to get those cards if they want to stay in the format as relevant. Where you've got the collectors who are chasing those really nice looking cards for their beautiful collections and whatnot. So
it's never been that price though before, though, has it? Even for like older collection-y sets, smaller sets.
That's very true. I don't think I've ever seen ETBs that high unless they've been out for a while and they went up. Look at Evolving Skies. Right. ETBs now they go for $400 each. So
do we know the percentage share of the stores? Like, how much less are they getting? Is it only like 10% of what they normally would, or?
I know a few stores, but the stores don't necessarily share that information to the general public.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to be interesting for sure. Fingers crossed we can get our hands on some, as well as you, the listener. Hopefully you can get some as well. So moving forward, we've got some tournament roundup. So pretty much we're going to go through what's been recently happening, upcoming tournaments, and whatnot. So TPCI, we play best of 3, where you have 50-minute rounds, and TPC is the Japanese run circuit, and they also only just do a best of 1, but with my understanding it's 25 minutes for that best of 1. That's also Singapore is under that same meta as well of how to play the game. But back to Champions League Osaka. So we have the top 16 decks, which is fairly exciting, very, very diverse meta, as we tend to always see in the Japanese metas, which is always exciting. They always play some really cool cards, stuff that we don't normally see in our decks. So I'm just going to go through them. So first place with Archaladon Dialga. What do you guys think?
Complete out of left field.
Yeah, I don't even know how I feel about Archaladon EX as a card. Like, it hits hard and has a lot of HP, but it reminds me a bit of Charizard. I think that's why I like it a little bit, because you can just kind of accelerate energy and swing.
Yeah. The Relicanth is pretty interesting. If they can't Oko you can sort of stay in the game.
Having the Duraludon with the Raging Hammer attack, where it does 10 more damage, or 80 plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon, with the Relicanth's Memory Dive ability, is very exciting. Just to recap, the Memory Dive ability just lets your evolved Pokemon use the attacks from the previous evolution. So with the very strong and tanky Archaladon EX having 300 HP, being able to take a hit of, say, 200 damage and dealing back 280 damage is just really, really strong.
And they're playing the 2 Turos, the Scoop Up Cyclone to just continue to kind of get us.
Yeah. Like a recycle sort of deck, isn't it? It's just like a.
If you can't kill me, I'm coming
just
back.
Flow. Well, it's just like hit me once, and I'll hit you twice, and repeat.
I have a question, just in regards to all 16 top decks. Like, I'm obviously new to the game, and all I hear about is Regidrago. Where's the Regidrago?
So it's definitely fallen off in their meta, it looks like. Dragapult was the one. That's a very good question. If you look at the meta share for our meta, Regidrago is listed as number 1 with a 21.41% win rate, which is just crazy, especially when you go to number 2, which is Charizard with a 13.76%. I think that is win rate. So that is just so dramatic, being a massive, massive change. And then you look at the Japanese meta, and there's none in the top 16 of a 5,000 player tournament.
Yeah.
I wonder how much that is, because best of 1, you pick Turbo, you win the flip, and you just kind of get the first knockout, and as Drago you just can't. And maybe with against Dragapult, because it's one single prize, even if they swing into you, they're only taking one, and so you can still kind of come back right in the game and take the first two, and then you still win. So maybe it's because the meta is a best of one meta. It's too risky playing Drago, because if you just lose the coin flip, you basically lose.
But at the same time, the same thing can also be said. It's very similar about Lugia. Since it's a very since it's a very two prize heavy deck. Same kind of theory, but I think the difference with that is just the legacy energy, where you have that able to disrupt the 2/2/2 prize card race.
Totally.
Yeah, 100%.
Could it be something to do with Badoo? The not being able to energy switch?
Yeah, and Badoo's suppressing it too, I think. No items, right?
Yep, very true. They definitely
Takes a
have
little
that
bit longer to come online.
100%. Moving forward, the second place deck was actually Ancient Box. So this is the Roaring Moon. So not the EX one, the Roaring Moon that has the attack Vengeance Belching. Does 70 damage plus 10 more for every Ancient card in your discard pile. So that came second, which
I like it.
Really good being a one prize deck.
Yeah. I played a bit of Ancient Box this season. And yeah, that extra bit of damage. The Monkey Dory is kind of cool in here for the extra 30. But,
it's not even that. Like, it protects that little bit extra from the Dragon
push
Ball.
away, yeah. I don't know, maybe the I played with Cabalion. I like the Monkey Dory moving the damage off. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know about the 4 Great Tusks, because isn't the new there's the new Ancient Koraidon that's out.
It's nice. It's not something you want to start the game with, but you've got Pecharunt, I guess.
Yeah.
Completely agree. I think the list is very I love it. I honestly love it. As a single prize card deck, you have the option to mill, you have the option to stop your opponent's abilities with a Flutter Mane. I think it's such a cool deck, and I think that deck has a lot of potential moving forward as well.
Brilliant
Blender.
Pretty dope, yeah.
Oh, you've seen it too?
Yeah, I like the
But my question is, what happens, like, because this deck doesn't have any item search, what happens if you see that card too late?
True.
Is it a wasted spot? It's like, sure, it's an extra 50 damage, but...
Yeah, maybe they're hoping the Guidance can find it. Like gear into Guidance, maybe into it.
I think just
even
the
like
option of having the it in the deck and seeing it is worth more than having any other card. Like, if you think of this list as a 59 card list, what would be the perfect 60th card? You might not see Brilliant Blender every game, but the fact that you might see it maybe in 1 in every 3 games
drops your list down to a 54 list.
And you've got the stops in there as well to find it. And like the other thing too is playing a bunch of Ancient Box. You would probably use this at the end. You're always short just like that tiny little bit of damage to get that final knockout, and just getting that blender at the very end there, because you can find it easily at the end, because you can go through your whole deck pretty quickly at the end, because you've basically thinned it. You can SADA, right, to draw the final 2 cards and things, and so there's so many things you can do to kind of get it at the end to basically close the game. 5. Yeah, just close the game.
It's up to 5, so you don't need full 5 cards always.
Yeah.
It's always like a multi-purpose card as well. Like, you can always look at it as a way to thin. If you got too many like dead cards in your deck, it's just always like an extra resource to just thin.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there where we've got right to the end of the game where we're thinking, we need to see that boss's orders, or we need to see that one card, and we draw. We don't draw that the card we need, and we draw something that's completely useless that we can't even play. So that it's like Hayden said, it's a very good declutter card, I think. I don't think there's a better card for.
Nice with the
replace.
stretcher as well, because you can like blender out the Roaring Moon and stretch it straight onto the bench.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe that was a play from that
I
game.
like it. I like it.
I'm just not a ancient box believer. I think it's horrible.
And we all got to stand on one side.
Just controversial there, but yeah, I think the power in that deck probably came from the best of one aspect and catching people off guard. So people trying to work out what that deck is doing before it's too late. And Ancient Box is one of those decks that once it's too late, it's too late. But if that was a best of 3, I don't think we would have saw it anywhere.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. So the third deck from the Champions League is actually Dragapult Dusknoir, and we're with the all-card favourite that we've been talking about throughout this podcast is the new Bidu that's coming out in SV8A. So the Bidu has an attack called Itchy Pollen for 0 energy cost, does 10 damage, and during your opponent's next turn they can't play any item cards from their hand. 0 retreat as well, and weak to fire × 2, which, let's be honest, doesn't really matter unless you're a Charmander hitting 20 damage. So guys, what do you think about Dragapult Dusknoir coming third?
I want to play this deck. I played this basically Dragapult Dusknoir before I switched to Drago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I was testing a bunch of this deck and did pretty good with it. I've been talking to Jordan Palmer, just things you could do to the deck and it's crazy seeing this list, because what we found is it really sucked into like Raging Bolt and even Drago, because they would take that knockout on the Squawk ability or something like that when you're trying to set up. So we added in the technical machine evolution, because we found that if you go second, that basically gets you back into the game. We found going second just sucked hard with this deck, and so we were like, let's try evolution, and that really worked well for us. So I really love that in here, because if you pair that up with we had the Tatsugiri in here with the rescue board, but I think they've swapped that out for the Badu, which is just way better, right? Because you can slow them down while you basically try to get into that Dragapult, get the energy, maybe you find, especially if you're going second, starting the Badu and evolution, technical Evo, I think that's like just a really strong play. So
that's the choice, right? You're choosing between the Evo or the item lock.
Oh, the item lock, yeah.
So like, it really depends on your opponent's board state.
Yeah.
If they start to get too far ahead.
One card that I'm loving in this list is the adaptation of Lance. Like it's so underrated, but I think that it's just card's just broken. And
Do you guys remember when everybody was hyping Lance, like, oh my gosh, this card is going to be insane when
Dragon Ball.
The prices spiked.
Yeah.
Stock everywhere just sold out like at the drop of a hat. It was very funny.
If they Badu you, I mean, what do? You have to Lance, right?
Kill the Lance.
Laughing at us now.
Yeah.
I also want to say the inclusion of Bidu and Klefki in the same deck is, I think that's really genius. Klefki is just a strong card. For you at home that don't know, Klefki has an ability, as long as it's in your active spot, basic Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponent, no longer have abilities except for Klefki. So imagine that if you had a Squawk ability, your deck was reliant on being a very turbo deck, and your opponent leads Klefki, that's just, you can't do anything. It's just so powerful. I think that's such a brilliant inclusion.
Well, that's the big difference here between the current Dragapult, or the top Dragapult list currently in our meta, right? The 4 Thorns plus a Dragapult. Like, I don't know which one's better, because the Thorns or the Klefki, whichever one you decide to start with, that deck generally takes in at least one of these things.
I think they're seeing Gardevoir lists. I think I saw a Gardevoir list play one of each as well. I think just for that option is pretty cool. Do you want to stop abilities or do you want to item lock?
But
I think it's pretty cool.
yeah, I suppose it depends on what your
matchup.
opponent is playing.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah.
And I think they're playing two
think it's
Badoos
doing-
because it's just more useful and more. There's more decks that Badoo would be good against. Than
Not just that,
Mockingbirds.
to start it as well. It's having a free retreater in your active, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of the
Yeah, it's a
time
good
Yeah.
pivot too. That's
Yeah.
That's a good point.
The biggest concern I have with playing Bidoo, it's probably just my paranoia from spread decks, from Espeon Deoxys GX, and things that did a lot of spread damage back in the day. 30 HP is not a lot of HP to have. So having a liability, which is a prize card, can be pretty relevant.
Yeah, the mirror match is like three prize knockout, four prize, two Badoos, and a Fez or something.
You wouldn't bench two Badoos though. You'd only bench the one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
mostly just the protection and prizes and stuff. And most people are running dust goals everywhere, so Dragapult's always going to feed on them. But yeah, I think this deck's good. I think knowing that Drago is less prevalent, the reason Drago is so strong is like that Dragapult attack is just so good. I think
Really.
without Drago there, Dragapult can now shine, and then you don't need the Fawn's Pult because you've got Badu just doing the same delaying there.
I think
Just
the
for you
biggest
at home,
provides-
if you don't know what Dragapult EX, its attack does, which Drew was mentioning, is Phantom Dive, 200 damage, and put 6 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like for 1 fire and colorless. Very strong attack, in my opinion.
Yeah, best in the game, I think.
100%. Probably the best spread attack. Just correct me if I'm wrong. But, yeah. Alright, moving forward. With number 4, we've got pretty much my favorite deck in this meta is Lugia Archeops. So Lugia V-Star has a ability which lets you get 2 colorless Pokemon from your discard pile that don't have rule boxes onto your bench Pokemon, in combination with Archeops with Primal Turbo, being able to search your deck for 2 special energies and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Just makes for a powerhouse of a deck. So guys, looking at the deck, it plays 2 cards that aren't in decks currently that are legal in Japan. So we've got the new Regigigas with the 4 energy, colorless energy cost attack Dual Break, 100 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Terra Pokemon, this does 230 more damage for 4 colorless energies. That is just really easy for Lugia to do. What do you guys think?
This card being a single prizer, it's way too good of an opportunity to pass up Lugia.
Yeah.
It's too crazy,
So-
and they have to deal with it. It's like
It's
something that they just can't ignore. Like
And-
it's
the answer to Charizard. It's the answer to Dragapult.
Dragapult, yeah.
I don't know why Cincino. I don't know why Cincino's even in this list. To be honest with you, like going to Gigas would be sweet.
Yeah. On that note, there is Minchino, so the basic form of Cincino. There's the new 70 HP version with a attack or just 1 energy, which does 20 damage. Which at 70 HP, as we discussed before, is just really good. I also just want to go back to the Regigigas just very quickly. It has 160 HP for a basic Pokemon. That is almost a V Pokemon.
It's like a
basically.
sweet spot, right?
Yes, and for 1 prize, that if you attach a legacy energy to it, can you imagine saying to your opponent, okay, I can do 200 or 320 damage to you,
Yeah,
and now you're taking no prizes for knocking me out?
yeah.
That's just
It's just crazy, man. It's crazy.
At least like the
basic-
Chinchino can be checked by things like what's the ghost called again?
Oh yeah, Dusknoir.
Dusknoir, that's right.
That's no.
But yeah, that's what I mean. This 160 HP is just that sweet spot above Dusknoir's threshold.
Can't cheat your way around it.
I'm trying to think where the Cincino is better than Gigas. Maybe searching for it. You can't search the Gigas as easy. Maybe I don't know.
I think the fact that Cinchino is not a basic Pokemon, being able to hit Pokemon that have an effect that's doesn't let basics hit it.
Right.
Might be relevant.
Right.
But at the same time, you also do have Lugia V-Star, which is, as we all know, is actually a decent attacker here and there. Not the best anymore, but can do some damage. Okay, guys. You go.
I was going to say, I don't really like the Carmine and the Squawk ability in the list.
It's very fair, though.
Yeah. I feel like you're only going to do one of these on the first turn. Maybe they're trying to combo both. Maybe they're trying to get like Squawk and Carmine on the first turn to guarantee the Archeops.
Like if you don't want to bench the Squawk, you've got the option.
Yeah.
That's 11 cards as well that you're seeing after the first top 7. So digging that down, that's a lot.
So many energies, man. There's so many energies in the bin right now. So many.
But we're all looking just for the Ultra Ball double chops play. That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
But we're going to move on from the Champions League because I feel like we could be here all day just constantly talking about the Champions League and how crazy the decks are and awesome they are, especially the innovation they have. So we've got some upcoming events. Rio Regionals, Birmingham Regionals. Yeah, guys, what do you think? If we go to the meta share right now and it says Reggie Drago is pretty much the top deck, followed by Charizard, Claw, Snorlax, Stall, also known as Storlax, Raging Bolt, then Gardevoir. What do you guys think? Like, tell me, what do you think that is going to be the play, the meta, predictions? Let's hear it.
Reggie Drago.
Yeah, Reggie Drago.
We're all going to be singing Reggie Drago.
It's the same format right now, right? Nothing's changed since Toronto.
Nothing's changing.
How do you check Reggie Drago in this current format?
So you think that Reggie Drago is just going to be the most dominant deck of the regionals?
I mean, in the right players' hands, yeah. Like if
Unless,
they can,
like aggro decks make a comeback. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I think maybe Drago and like Cloth Terrapagos could be pretty good because, like, I think it's 50-50 Cloth into Drago, and I think if most people want to play Drago, then you probably want to play Cloth Terrapagos to counter it, and then it's just about what's got a really good matchup into Cloth, and I'm trying to think of what evolution deck does. I think I really like Gardevoir, Dragapult, or Charizard. I don't know which one.
Yeah, Gardevoir is solid.
Yeah.
Charizard not so much because of the Electrode, makes it pretty simple.
Charizard gets farmed by Cloth. It's not close.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I will admit that as much as this meta might seem like it's we've been in it forever, it's not a triangle format. We're not playing this deck that beats this deck that beats this deck. You know, we're very much in, okay, this is a good deck, this is another good deck. Obviously, it's a more favored matchup, but it's more diverse than just a triangle rock paper scissors format as we've seen many times.
Yeah, I think now we're getting into where it should have always been. Just from a game design thing, it's like always better to. You never want to have it go down to the level of like deck beats deck beats deck. Up one level of category beats category beats category is way better because now you just pick a strategy and there's so many decks within that strategy you could pick, and any one of them could be equal in power level, right? But I like the idea of the spread and evolution and turbo triangle, and there's so many options within each one. It's just hard to even decide what deck to kind of go with. I think once Drago is gone, that decision becomes even harder now, right? Because I think the meta become pretty balanced again once Drago leaves.
I completely agree. I do think though, confidence is definitely key with a lot of these deck choices. You're not going to have the best matchup with every deck. You know, Pokemon specifically makes decks that aren't going to be the best deck in the format, and is unbeatable. You know. So definitely lots of practice, lots of time is definitely a good key part. So if you guys are going to, if any of you listeners are going to any of these events, definitely make sure you get your practice in. They're both on the 18th of this month. So I think from day of recording, it's just shy of 2 weeks. So should definitely be exciting. Are you guys going to stay up and watch any of the regionals, or what do you guys think?
Love to watch the replays.
You hit me on the right time and day.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
Australian friendly time zones.
This
I
is
think-
true. Unfortunately, we don't have the best time zones for watching regionals and whatnot. So I try my best, but sometimes my best is not good enough.
Do we want to go with our picks for what we think you should play? Maybe at the regionals if you're going. I think if I was going to go to this regional, I would play either God of War or Dragapult Iron Hands. Yeah, Iron Thorns. Sorry.
Iron Thorns, yeah.
Iron Hands, wow.
Wow.
So if I was going to both the events, which is physically impossible because they're on the same day, I would play Lugia at one and then Charizard at the other. I know you get deleted by Claw, but Charizard is very much of it tries to be a consistent deck, being a stage 2 deck, and as soon as you get that Pidgeot EX out with a quick search ability of searching your deck for any card, it's just so strong.
I think I agree with you. Like, there seems to be like a pattern of X deck starts to win well, next tournament X deck counters it, so the floodgates open, and like we saw not too long ago, a double Charizard mirror, and then because Charizard had such a good showing, the Dragapults came in to put them in their place. Now that the Dragapults have had such a good showing a few tournaments in a row, maybe it's time to play the Charizard again to, like you said, evolution.
Well, it was Reggie Drago that destroyed the meta. Well, not the meta, the tournament, last tournament, wasn't it? Last regional?
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. So, like, the big beat stick decks are going to come in, right?
That's what I
What beats
think,
the big
yeah.
beat stick decks? The evolution deck.
Yeah.
So
So you might see a bunch of Cloth coming in, and then the Guardies come in to clean up all the Cloths.
Well, that's why
So
Yeah.
Charizard
that's
would
why
be
I
the
said
best
Guardi.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you go one step down, right? So now it's like Charizard will clean up.
Mhm.
Just really comes down to who you verse, though. Like, you go in to kill all the Guardies, and then you get every Cloth.
That's exactly it, and ultimately there does come to a point of the game where you have to definitely try to meta predict and have that, that crystal ball where you're thinking everybody's going to play that, so I should play this. Be that person that's going to play, hey, I'm going to play Miraidon, I'm going to dodge every Charizard in the room, but I'm going to hit everything else that I need to hit.
If it works for Jesse, it works for you.
That's exactly it. And he definitely did pilot the deck to a new height, I reckon. There was massive congratulations. On that note, did you see he's actually getting his deck printed as a World Championship deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that.
Did you,
The Dawn.
did you, yeah, I was gonna say, did you see the name he chose?
It's good on him. I loved it. Good on him for that.
Better than that Reggie Drago deck, man.
Okay, so let's do a meta share. So I'll tell you what, I'll give you guys 6 decks, and it's going to be Reggie Drago, Charizard, Cloth, Dorlax, Raging Bolt, and Gardevoir. What do you guys think is going to be the most popular, least popular, and probably in the middle? What do you guys think?
Ooh. I think Drago most popular.
Reggie Drago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, my man right there. He knows it.
Yeah, I think
It's
Drago
Jimmy's
most popular. I think Snorlax least popular, and I think
Preach, boy. Preach.
yeah, I don't know about the. I really like Cloth Terrapagos right now. I don't know.
Mm.
Could be the middle. I don't know.
He just did not show last tournament.
No. Nope. Could be Gardevoir.
I'm-
in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, I'm thinking Guardi. I think I'll put my money on Guardi.
Well, what are your thoughts, Hayden? I'm gonna defer to your thoughts on this one.
I'll still back up like the aggro decks, but you just can't lie. The results don't lie with 6 Reggie Drago of the top 8 in Toronto. Like, it has been a while since last time, but all the skilled players are going to be on Drago. Like, you could just be that one guy that walks in with Bolt, plays matchup roulette, and just hits like Drago like all the time. could be that one lucky bugger. I would say that'd be the most popular. Least popular, yeah, I would have to get Snorlax. Like we're coming to that point in time where everyone's just sort of figured out how to play around it. Like
It's a very niche playstyle as well.
yeah, yeah, and all the decks are sort of in between. I would pick Raging Bolt, but I would say Regidrago is just going to be that one pick that everyone's just going to wall around like they have been doing.
I'm going to be a little controversial to everybody here. I think Gardevoir is going to be the least played deck. I have a feeling that either I'm going to say Raging Bolt is going to be probably the most played, being such a good counter deck to Drago. I think it's. I think
not only that, it's just like the easiest. In a way.
Low skill ceiling.
Are you saying we're going back to a Drago Raging Bolt Charizard meta?
Don't you dare.
Triangle.
It's I think Snorlax will probably be near close to the bottom as well. But I think Gardevoir is a little bit falling off. But hey, please prove me wrong, and everybody listening, love Gardevoir as a deck. It's such a fun deck.
All the Japanese players from Perth would like to talk to you.
Yep.
I'm playing Drago at everything until it rotates moving forward. So
yeah,
that's my opinion on it.
How funny is that? The Silver Tempest meta was dominated by Lugia and the Amazing Rares, and now we're so far forward, almost at the end of the V-Star life, and we're at Regidrago. Regidrago is the final boss.
Yeah.
Why not?
Alright guys, so that's for the meta share predictions. Do you guys have any more words for that? Anything you want to input before we move on?
I think we caught every bit of it.
Alright. Guys, I've got a little game I want to play with you. It's going to be very quick. I've got a Pokemon in mind. Everybody here has 3 guesses. I'll give you all 3 hints as well. Okay.
Let's hear it.
So, okay. This is going to be a very fun one. So it's actually going to be revolved around a trainer specifically. So this trainer is in Gen 1. You have to play through the game.
Is it Lance?
Is that your guess?
No, that's my guess.
Lance is not a Pokemon.
I'll tell you what. I won't let you do that. Let me go through the first thing. You have to play through the game. They are an iconic part of Pokemon in some way. And they have been on an Illustrator card.
What was the first one? Sorry, the first clip.
They're in the first generation, so Gen 1. You play the game. You have to go through them at some point of the game, and they're on a Illustrator card of Who Am I? So you all got 3 guesses. Everybody at home as well, feel free to start thinking of who this is. We're going to be trying to do one of these a game once a week, or once a podcast. And yeah, let's see what it comes up.
I'll throw.
For the trainer?
It's a trainer, yeah.
Okay.
I'll throw my first guess in. Is it Blue, your rival?
Incorrect. So it's not Blue, but it was a very good guess. So do you want me to do 3?
Are we on it here? I've just wasted one of our guesses.
No. I'll tell you what we'll do. Everybody here has 3 guesses. Everybody. So it's you guys should definitely get this with 12 guesses. But
yeah, I hope so. But all right, let me be the scapegoat, I guess. The
Pokedex.
All right, let's chuck in a Giovanni.
Incorrect. So after 3 guesses from one person, just 3 guesses, I'll give you another hint. It's not
Oh.
geography.
Professor Oak?
Incorrect.
Oh.
I don't think you can actually battle Professor Oak in the games.
Oh, okay. So you actually battle this.
You have to
No,
have to go
go
through
him.
this trainer.
Okay, so it's one of the
Um,
Elite Four or one of the
So
gym leaders.
this trainer, if you play the Heart Gold, Soul Silver gen games, so or even Crystal, Gold or Silver, that gym leader, I did just give you a hint, is not specifically where they're supposed to be.
Is it Koga?
Yeah. That's what,
Was that a no?
Yeah, no, correct.
they're not where this. Oh,
Are you
Misty.
sure?
I'm locking in Misty because Misty has gone off on a date, I believe, in those games. Right?
Yes.
That is my third and final guess.
Your third and final guess is correct.
Oh.
Yes.
Misty is
Oh,
on
Aaron,
the
1 point.
Illustrator Starmie V card. Don't ask me what set it was. I apologize. I love that card. It was so much fun to play, especially in Chen Pao early on. Yeah, congratulations.
Aaron,
Thank
get
you.
one up on us, man, already.
Huh?
Already.
Next week,
Don't worry, I'll start strong. You guys will get me in the end.
So I'm playing
Aaron,
Trigger at the
next
next
week.
locals.
it's over to you, my friend, for the
Alright.
game. So I need
Can
you to
do.
start thinking of something to do with Pokemon. Then we all get 3 guesses. And we go from there. And whoever gets it first goes to them, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
100%. Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much for listening. This has been the Squawk and Talk podcast. I hope this has been an exciting time. Trust me, we've got much more planned and much more installed for everybody. Please stay tuned. And if you are listening via any of your podcasts, please click a follow, click a like, please share. Definitely helps us grow this great time of having a great time with friends and just sharing the love of Pokemon. Everybody, stay safe. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good night or day.
Peace.
Easy.
See ya.